Giannis Antetokounmpo in a battle of MVP favorites tonight. LeBron has been named league MVP 4 times. He said yesterday, being named MVP has never been a motivating factor for him.
Never motivated me. Regular season MVP has never motivated me. To be the best to ever play the game has motivated me and has resulted in me being able to be league MVP a couple times. But I've never gone into the season saying, okay, league MVP is what I want to be. I'm going into the season saying, okay, I want to be the MVP of this team. I want to be the best player in the world. And how I approach my game every day, how I take care of my body every day, has resulted in things like that.
So Max is here, first take in 6 minutes, and I would usually start with you, but the way you laughed, and of course you played with LeBron all that time, what'd you react to that?
Well, he's kind of telling the truth, but not entirely telling the truth. He doesn't go out there to try and win an MVP. Like, he's one of those guys that could average a triple-double. He doesn't go out there and try and do that. But he is motivated because he wants that respect. Coming off a year that they had last year and them struggling, and a lot of people questioning whether or not his durability or could he lead a team in the Western Conference. So he's taking a lot of pride, and he believes he deserves the MVP.
LeBron James was in his prime in the second championship in Miami. That's when he was a two-way player, one of the all-time great defensive players, by the way, also, and offensive players, played all the time, won the championship, the whole thing. After that, he realized the NBA season is not 82 games. It's 10 games if you win the whole thing potentially. So it's so absurd. The regular season MVP in basketball is absurd. Greater than 50% of the teams make the playoffs. You're more likely to make it than not to make it. Since there's never been an MVP, even candidate, from a non-playoff team, what sense does it make to give this award out before the playoffs? So what he realizes is in order to be the real MVP, he needs to pace himself in the low-leverage games in order that he has gas in the tank for the high-leverage game.
Especially an older player. That's the one disadvantage, like an older player that has a lot of miles that's looking for longevity over the course of the season versus like a guy like Giannis that can just go out and play 40 minutes every night, even though he's not.
Max and I grew up in the same neighborhood. We have the same birthday, and that's why he's so smart. You're exactly right. It is ludicrous. Look, yeah, you are much younger than me. We have the same birthday, not the same birth date.
Yes,
but there is no question. It is ridiculous to give the MVP award out. I've been making this argument for a long time. Candidly, I get yelled at for saying it a lot. But you're saying it, and I'm not yelling at you. I'm yelling with you. I think you're 1,000% right.
Yeah, look, the interesting thing about LeBron is he was always the MVP, whether he got it or not. Yeah. And then a couple of times other guys actually deserved it. KD, Steph, they were better in the regular season, but by the end of the year, it was obvious LeBron was the best.
Well, so let's talk about the MVP race, though, while we're saying that maybe it doesn't matter that much. But here's the thing. Giannis right now does have a lead in it, yes. But can LeBron catch him or surpass him over this next stretch that they have?
Again, these next 5 or 6 games for the Lakers are key. And for Anthony Davis also, if he goes out there and dominates players defensively, because you got the Clippers and you got Milwaukee, that can boost you up in the defensive player of the year. And for Bron, if he goes out there and gives us 35 and 15 and puts up these crazy numbers against these great teams that he's about to play, it can kind of level the playing field.
All right, we have to let Max go. 3 minutes and change. You see, to first take, he'll be across the hall. I'll join you over there in just a couple of minutes, so we're looking forward to that. Again, Max, younger than me, but smart. Tip off your NBA Friday with our next doubleheader on ESPN and the ESPN app tonight. Zion and the Pelicans host Jimmy Butler in the Heat, 8 Eastern.
NBA with Brian Windhorst reporting that the Lakers are finalizing a deal for the rest of the season with guard Dion Waiters. Waiters, who had only played in 3 games for the Miami Heat this season, worked out for LA earlier this week. So his arrival comes at a point in the schedule where the team could really use him. You see what's coming up for the Lakers right now. Friday, of course, that's today, against the Bucks. And then they got Sunday at the Clippers. It's a big weekend. LeBron spoke yesterday about the test his team's about to face.
It's a weekend where you can just be like, wow, let's get competitive. It's going to be 2 great competitive games, but to know where we stack up, we know where we know where we are. We know who we are. We know we stack up against the best in the league, no matter who it is, win, lose, or draw. Then the competitive side, Friday night Staples, Sunday afternoon in Staples. You just know it's against the 2 of the best teams in the world. You know, you're going to have it's going to be a good competition.
RJ, you got to think that this is a stretch of the schedule that LeBron and the Lakers has kind of circled going into the season. Like, we've got to do well during this stretch. What do you need to see from him specifically?
Well, he's got to close the gap. If he really wants an MVP, quietly, personally himself, and that's been it. It's been Giannis's to lose. And this is a stretch. You have Milwaukee coming in. Then you have the Clippers. Then you have the Rockets, and then you got Utah twice. If Bron goes out there and plays well, if Giannis gives us 22 points and doesn't play well, doesn't shoot the ball well, Bron goes for a 35-point triple-double, the gap closes. If he goes and does the same thing against the Clippers, same things happen.
Let's go back to the sneaky big news, which is the Dion Waiters piece of this. And I understand people will not look at Dion Waiters and say he should be the one who tilts a championship.
Including myself.
But here's the thing.
Will likes
the
him.
Clippers are so deep. We just sat here and talked about how when they're all healthy. So tonight's game should be a great show. LeBron against Giannis and throw Anthony Davis in there against Giannis. That's a great show. But Sunday's game is the one where I think we'll really learn a lot because the Clippers are the team that added Marcus Morris. They're the team that added Reggie Jackson. They were deep and added pieces. The Lakers need pieces. Can Dion Waiters help?
Well, Dion Waiters can help because he's a guy that can create shots off the dribble. That's the one thing that they didn't have. And that's why they picked him over J.R. Smith, in my opinion, is because J.R. Smith is a shooter and they have shooters. This is a guy that you can toss him the ball and he can go score. Now, his decision making, some of the things that he's done over the past couple of months, couple of years, that's the one question that they have. And their locker room has been so great. Yeah. That's been something that all of their players have been talking about, especially coming off last year with all of the young players and the drama. To have a great locker room, they understand the importance of that. So Dion Waiters has to try and fit in.
You've been in these locker rooms. Is that a thing where LeBron and those guys are like, you know what, our locker room is so strong that it doesn't really matter if this guy doesn't fit, we'll just figure it out? Or do they really think that Dion Waiters fits in their vibe?
Well, I think that no locker room is too strong. Let's look at Antonio Brown and what happened in the Patriots. You could still have someone disrupt the locker, but I think right now his job, and he's kind of on a last leg, they want to make sure that he can get in there, feel comfortable, but they need him to contribute if they're going to win a championship.
Okay, it's going to be an awesome night in the NBA, and we've got it all for you right here. Tip off your NBA Friday with our next doubleheader on ESPN.
More to get to on football, but how about this? Steph Curry back and better than ever. His first appearance since October 30th. He missed 58 games with a broken left hand, and RJ, everyone, including LeBron, excited to see him back, and for good reason. Look at that pass.
Look, this man can do everything on the floor. The NBA has missed him. Fans have missed him. The casual basketball fans have missed him.
That was a left-handed behind-the-back pass to Andrew Wiggins, and then here he is. That's his first bucket, his first field goal in the second quarter.
Look, you were upset when people were talking about should he play. It's like, yes, he should play. Fans want to see this. Steph Curry is a unique player. He's one of them. That's the way the fans view him, so it's great when he's on the floor.
How much have we missed this? Just how about that moment?
No, I have not missed that. I have nightmares about that. That has affected my life.
Shot clock running out of 32-3. Curry had 11 points at halftime. Third quarter, Warriors playing the Raptors, by the way, and down by 9. But it was Steph Curry who just would continue to put on a show last night. Watch him here.
Well, and again, he has, like, when we talked about what Dame Lillard was doing earlier in the season, just shooting from anywhere all the time, he was basically joining in what Steph has been doing for the last 5 years.
And look how much fun he's having doing it. He was counting out 4 because that was the 4-point play. Now here he is in the fourth quarter, finding his way to the hole. Steph Curry would finish with 23 points, 7 assists, played 27 minutes, but the team they played was good. He would keep them in it, but Pascal Siakam would find a way to win it. Siakam taking it to the hole. In the end, the Raptors win it, 121-113. But for everyone, great to have an NBA superstar back.
It felt great. It was a lot of energy, just anticipation for tonight, just getting back out there on the floor, just seeing what was going to happen. Didn't really know what to expect, how to handle like the minute restriction and all that. But throughout the 27 minutes, I felt good, so I'm excited to be back out there.
I thought he looked great. He moved well. To me, it feels like, it's on again. We're now through the woods. We can start looking ahead and using these games to prepare ourselves for trying to reach a higher level of play.
Look, it did not take Steph long to go back to being Steph. Last night he attempted 6 threes from 30 feet away. That was tied for the most such attempts in his career.
Let's get to the Rockets and the Clippers. Rockets putting that micro ball to the test against the Clippers at home. And the Rockets would struggle from a fashion sense, if you ask me. But anyway, more on that later.
I think that was the only place they won.
Yeah, well, it's depending on how you look at it, if they won or not. They were struggling to shoot, though, and it continued to be a story throughout throughout the first half, RJ.
Well, my thing is this. Look, the Golden State Warriors changed the game with the way they use threes, but unless you have the Golden State Warriors, you can't just shoot 20 threes and miss all of them.
Yeah.
That is not a formula for winning basketball.
That's the face your coach makes when you miss 20 straight threes. Clippers up by 21, and Kawhi, just watch him right here.
Look at that.